Good evening, mga kalaro, and welcome to the Council of Titos, a special episode with Joao streaming all the way from Bali, the show on the Laro-Laro channel that talks about a different kind of game, the reality TV game show and social experiment that has run for 25 years, Survivor. I'm Chief Mr. Joel Parcon, and with me, as always, all the way from somewhere else, Juxtapotito, Joao Atienza. What's up, Joao? How are you doing?
Well, I'm gonna say, right, like I remember having recorded the Council of Titos in a number of different places. We did one when I was in Tokyo. We did
Uh-huh.
one a couple of years ago when I was here in Bali as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I would just like everybody to know that it just so happens that our trips end up happening when there is a Survivor season on, because those are like literally the only three trips that we've taken.
So it just so happens. So yeah, it's nothing. Yeah.
Like, yeah, like every time we're like abroad or like outside of Cebu or whatever, like yeah, that's when there's a Survivor season running. Like I
Mm.
haven't been to Cagayan de Oro in a long time. Um, or I rarely go to Cagayan de Oro, but the times that I do go there, yeah, we're recording a couple of episodes. I
Yeah.
suppose it works as part of like the mystique, the charm, sort of.
The
Yeah,
charm. Yeah.
like the jet
Jao
setting
is the
Tito,
international correspondent.
the international
The jet
correspondent.
setito. There you go.
The international correspondent that's never gonna end up in Fiji.
Yeah. Well, you never know, man. You never know. Uh, anyway, tonight we are going to give our thoughts about season 48, episode 11, entitled Coconut Etiquette. Have you had any coconuts there already, Joe? Today?
Yes. Yeah, yeah. Well, actually, now that you mention it today, my wife had like coconut coconut water or whatever, like
Mm-hmm.
served in the coconut, right?
Mm-hmm.
She was like, "Oh, coconut water." I asked, like, "So, what's it like?" She's like, "You've tasted coconut water, right?" Like, yeah. I tasted it like, yeah,
It's not like foreign to us.
yeah.
Anyway, before we do begin, before we get waylaid any further, do consider hitting the subscribe button as well as the notification bell so you get updated whenever we come up with new episodes on this channel. And for those of you who just want to listen to our soothing voices and not have to look at our mugs, just go to counciloftitos.com and you'll find the audio version. And also, you can find it wherever you get your podcasts of this episode. And so, without further ado, let's begin. So, coconut etiquette. I mean, how did you find this episode? I mean, I've been hearing a lot of not so good things about this episode. Well, it sort of continues the streak of the entire season.
Yeah, come on, Kyle had better win this season, or
Mm.
like Joe or Eva shouldn't win this season.
Yeah,
You
well,
know?
he still is my winner pick. I mean, Joe is still my winner pick, so I'm still holding out for that. But yeah, that's something that I want to ask you, or that I'd like for us to discuss. Was this $1 million mistake for Kyle?
I think he still has the path to the end.
Hmm. You think
I
that
still think he has the path to the end. Yeah.
does that path include sitting there with either Joe or Eva, or Joe and Eva?
If he's sitting, I think he might be able to beat Eva. Not sure if
Hmm.
he's going to be able to beat Joe, but
Hmm.
I'm pretty sure he has an outside shot of beating Eva.
Why so?
Um, because because of his secret relationship with Camilla.
Hmm. Okay. Okay.
I was listening to a podcast with one of my favorite Survivor analysts. I'm coming to realize that I really like the analysis of Sam Phelan
Hmm.
from the previous season. And he said like people are making this jury out to be one that's going to be all about like loyalty and like playing um a stand-up game or whatever. But then like if you actually look at the jury,
Hmm.
the people that are on the jury are the ones that were voted out by the so-called like stand up,
Yeah, the strong
loyal
X.
people. Yeah, like they were the ones that were voted out by the strong X. So
Mm-hmm.
they're the ones that are like, maybe not. Maybe we're not going to reward that style of gameplay because it's what got us out. Maybe we want to you know support the more strategic kind of trying to play Survivor as it is quote unquote intended to be played
Mm-hmm.
kind of player at the end, right? I mean, if we assume that Shaheen is going to end up on the jury, yeah, he's
Mm-hmm.
gonna he probably won't vote for like an Eva, right? Like Star. Hmm. You know, the rest of the jury doesn't seem to be all about like honor and all of that.
Mm. Yeah,
So
yeah.
you know, the jury might award backstabby gameplay
Mm-hmm.
over whatever it is that Eva and Joe are trying to sell. Although Joe is like you mentioned in our chat, playing the sort of Rob Rob Father game without necessarily playing the Rob Father game. Another thing that Sam Phelan said, he's playing that sort of Boston Rob style game, but the question is he going to be able to say that he's playing the Boston Rob style game, or is
Ooh.
he going to end up like Hoboken Mike
Uh-huh.
and
Uh-huh.
like right until the very end insist that like no, I'm not capable of playing a backstabby sort of more traditional survivor game, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
I'm all about honor, etc., etc., and not all about the kind of wheeling and dealing. Like he could be playing that game unintentionally, and this seems like a jury that would reward intentionality in gameplay,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? So,
Yeah.
but so if Joe can
Uh,
kind of articulate that, he beats then he beats Kyle.
mm-hmm.
But I think Kyle has a path to victory if it involves Eva in Final Tribal.
Mm. Okay. Yeah. Because yeah, this actually touches on how you're explaining it actually touches up on some of the notes that I actually have. Because I mean, traditionally, Survivor has been the dynamic of Survivor has been the strong versus the crafty, right? It's just that
Hmm.
this season, the strong just so happened to have the edge also in the social game. That's why they were able to edge out all of the crafty players. But then again, in doing so, they put all of those crafty players in the jury. And whoever ends up in Final Tribal, who is probably the craftiest, who has played the craftiest game, that's the person that they're going to reward. And like you said, if Joe is able to own up to the fact that he was crafty whenever he needed to be. I mean, the whole David thing, he can own up to that. That
Yeah,
he needed to backstab, he needed to scheme in order to
yeah,
get someone. Yes, it was in service to the whole honor and integrity and strength uh ideals, but he needed to do something outside of it, right? If he can own up to
yeah,
something like that, he would be able to do it. And yeah, it also touches on this thing that we're coming up that it's showing up from Eva, that she has a. I mean, it might be because of her being at the spectrum, but she's showing a lack of self awareness of at least reading the room, right? Because she's incapable of figuring out when a person is sincere, or when they're, yeah, do those kinds of social cues.
yeah.
She comes off as too overconfident, too confident,
Yeah,
right?
that's something that I wanted to bring up. We're seeing kind of an Eva heel turn in slow
Mm,
motion.
yeah.
Like that's what the post merge has kind of been, right? It's kind of been like an Eva heel turn, where she is the sort of heel that's like the um the heel that beats on the underdog,
Mm,
right?
yeah.
That's the kind of character that she's evolving into,
I mean, it's probably
which
not conscious on on her part, but it's just that
yeah,
she's used to being competitive. She probably is used to being a winner, and being a winner means there's a loser, right?
yeah,
And being a competitive player, you sort of like quote unquote put the loser or the one who doesn't win in their place, right? And because of
Yeah.
that, she's rubbing people the wrong way, and we can't hide the fact that she does have all of the power right now in terms of advantages. And you go
Yeah.
to the old adage, absolute power corrupts absolutely,
Exactly.
right?
So yeah, I mean, yeah, that's it. That's kind of sad, right? Like that. Even Joe started out. Well, not started out, but like yeah, pretty much started out the season as kind of like the faces
Mm,
of the season, and they're slowly morphing into the sort of corporate heel.
mm,
At least that sort of dynamic where you have like the strong beating up on the underdog, and if there's something that we know about about who we root for the underdogs. So
exactly.
um, audiences will generally root for the underdogs. Uh, yeah, unless they do like really cool things, like Jesse Lopez, right?
Mm,
Or unless this, of course, is prefaced with the show, right? The show showing us, you know, people doing really cool things. you know?
mm, yeah.
So yeah, I'm really sad. Uh, I'm really sad to see that. It was just a meh episode for me. Going back to your original question,
Yeah,
Camilla or Kyle or Shaheen had better win this season.
they better. I mean, well, Kyle, I'm a little less rooting for him because I think that there is a little bit of a lack of sincerity on his part. Even that
Mm,
confessional where he was supposedly crying, where he can't bring himself to vote against Joe or Eva, even if it's for the benefit of his family. That was supposedly a very touching scene, but to my performer's eyes, it seemed as if it looked to me like he was an actor who was trying to cry, but because he
mm,
couldn't, what he does, he covers his eyes and he goes through the motions, the heaving shoulders, and then the sounds. But yeah,
mm.
there's a bit of a lack of sincerity for me from coming from him. And
Okay.
he even tells Camilla like, what was that? I'm all in or something. So he sort
Hmm.
of, yeah. So he says that he's all in with Camilla, but then again, he's still wishy washy. So there is a lack of sincerity, a lack of owning up to the game, basically, uh, that I'm missing from Kyle. Whereas maybe if you got a Camilla,
Yeah.
who is right now battling from the bottom, right?
Yeah.
But she was able to come up with the immunity for this episode. She's trying, but then again, she has enough awareness that even if she tried to rally Mitch and maybe even Shaheen, or maybe she was only able to rally Mitch, right?
Mm,
Because she chose Mitch to go on the sushi reward with her, right? And Mitch
yeah.
will be grateful to her for that. But she knows, she was aware enough that the number is only three on their side if she had Mary as well. So
Yep.
so instead, okay, I'll let this pass again. I'll try to work on it again in another vote. Right?
Yeah.
I'm rooting a little bit more for Camilla more than Kyle. That duo. Shaheen, he has been the
Yes.
one, whereas Kyle has been the one who was declared that he is playing the middle. Shaheen is the one who's right, like really playing the
Exactly.
middle.
Yeah,
Right?
he is. He is. So yeah, well, basically one of those three had better win in order for this season to I don't know for me to enjoy the drama of the season, I
Mm-hmm.
guess. But yeah, I think Camilla is right now the most rootable out of all of the players that are currently left. Or
Yeah.
rootable in the sense that she has a fighting chance, right? Because like
Mm.
of the remaining players, the person I really want to win is Mitch, right?
Mm.
Maybe
Why so?
this is he's a teacher, um, and he seems like a really cool guy.
Mm.
So and he was a mailman. Dude. That's cool.
Yeah.
Um, he seems like a really cool guy. Yeah, but like he isn't. Well, the show isn't showing him playing a great game. So
Mm.
you know,
If
there's that,
ever
and
he's being portrayed as sort of a Romeo character, right?
yeah,
Being strung about, being strung about, being strung along, and he might make the final tribal, but he might end up like a zero vote finalist.
yeah. Though I suspect that he's going home next week, or
Mm.
yeah, or in you know, final five maybe. Right?
So I don't think that he's gonna gonna make it past. The, he's gonna make it to fire.
No, no, I don't think so. Unless he wins like immunities, right?
Mm.
Um,
Excuse me.
yeah, because of the remaining players, maybe with the exception of Eva, right? Like,
Mhm.
um, I think right now, and I can't believe I'm saying this, I suspect that the people on the island are viewing Eva in the same way that they view Xander, what they viewed Xander in 41. That, sort of a bit of a goatee kind of player.
Mm. Mm. Yeah, yeah, I can see how that can be. Yeah, especially like she hasn't really aside she was given her immunity idol by Star, right? And
Hmm.
then yeah, although they don't really know it on the island, I mean, everyone on the internet is saying like she was given that that second advantage,
Yeah,
right, by production.
yeah.
Right.
So, I guess I can't believe I'm saying this, man. It's like they're going on they're entering like their heel era.
Mm,
Um, and yeah, Eva can also kind of be seen as kind of a goatee player, which is really sad and quite the fall from grace because they had the single greatest moment in New Era Survivor.
yeah, yeah. Does that does that tarnish that moment now? That epic moment?
Well, here's what I'm gonna do. Just hold up, right? Because I saw this over there. Dear listener, I'm using headphones, so like on the um I'm
It's not
not
on the
on
screen.
I'm not on the screen, but you can hear me loud and clear. And you can also see that I got a new shirt because I couldn't let I couldn't let Joel be the only one that has a cool new shirt that actually fits this time. Um, I'm sorry, Survivor production. I'm gonna have to take these back.
Ooh, there you go. The
Happy Mother's Day,
flowers
by
have
the way,
been
to all the
revoked.
mothers out there.
Yeah, happy Mother's Day. Yeah, the flowers have been revoked. And speaking of taking back some flowers from production, um, there was a weird cut or a weird transition from the confession I mentioned earlier about Kyle with that whole I can't sacrifice whatever even if it's for my family whatever, and then we
Mm.
transitioned to the boys swimming, snorkeling, and then Kyle getting his first fish. It was such a weird transition. It was such a weird transition. I picked this up from no buffs. Yeah, but when I
Mm.
rewatched it, I was like, oh yeah, yeah, they're right. It was a weird transition. Why do you do that right after that? Did not. It didn't help to tell any story. Right? It was just more Kyle, more
Yeah.
Kyle, and now this time with Mitch and with the rest of the boys, right? With Mitch and Shaheen.
Yeah. Uh,
Yeah.
uh, yeah. Joe had better not win for the sake of the season. But
For
then,
the sake of
you
the
know,
season. Well,
but
then
then,
again,
he
a
is
villain
after
has
all your
won.
canonical winner pick.
Yeah,
So
a villain has won several times in Survivor. I mean, the very first winner, Richard Hatch, was
yeah,
considered a villain, right? So if Joe actually accepts or admits as being a villain in the very last episode, right?
yeah.
I've been pulling the strings all along, right? I've been doing a coach without being coach. I
Mm.
brought you all into my cult of honesty and loyalty and and all of that, but I've been pulling the strings all along, right? If he's able to do something, of course he's not going to be. I don't think that he's going to be able to do that. He's a very upstanding guy. He looks to be a very
Yeah.
upstanding guy. So yeah.
Yeah. Minsan ano, di ba? Thing is, I still kind of I still kind of maintain that he's being put in the Jesse Lopez position. But
Mm.
the the difference the difference here is, for whatever reason, Jesse Lopez seems a lot more like rootable,
Yeah.
even though they kind of had the same sort of edit in a
Mm-hmm.
way. I don't know what
Mm-hmm.
it is. Um, yeah,
I think it's
but
because with Jesse, the group that he was with, he wasn't really with. Was he with a dominant group? He was mainly with Cody, right? He was
yeah,
mainly with Cody. He wasn't really. Was he in a power position? Because there was Carla. Were they working together? I don't think that they were like 100% working together.
hmm.
Whereas here we have that dominant group. We have the dominant group, and Joe is at the
If this
little
part
bit.
is cut out, if this part is cut out, dear listeners, you weren't able to get to see me do a cartwheel.
A Joust world just went on its side. Uh, uh,
It was like something out of like a Christopher Nolan movie.
okay, wait. So now you're frozen.
Oh no. Right, dear listener, if Joel decides to edit all of this out, you just missed cinema.
okay. Yeah.
Technical difficulties
Technical difficulties.
that with just enough imagination could end up looking like a Christopher Nolan movie, being frozen in time like Tenet,
Mhm.
and like flipping all over the place like Inception.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, going back to what I was saying.
So
So
I'm just gonna give my cell phone the flowers for
there you go.
such a great
Yeah,
cinematography.
there you go. Flowers to Zhao and Zhao's phone. But because Joe is in a dominant, superior position in that strong group, right? That is what makes Jesse a little bit more rootable because he wasn't really necessarily in a position of power as compared to Joe, right? And
Yeah.
then also the way that they are sort of a little elitist, that core four at the very least, they're like, okay,
Mm.
there's us, and then there's the others,
Yeah.
and everyone else is gonna go except us, and they're so brazen and open about it. Right? We're getting to we see it every morning that they have like this is the four, this is the four, right? In the past couple of episodes, we've been seeing that, and I guess
Yeah.
that's why Jesse is more rootable compared to Joe, right? Who is realizing though that he can potentially beat Eva in the end because he's seeing it more and more. Right? Eva is becoming very. I mean, like what you said. She quote unquote stepping on the ones underneath, right? Because he's
Yeah.
playing quieter. Yeah, that's why he's playing Rob Father without being a Rob Father, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I guess when it boils down to it, I'm just being tremendously disingenuous because Mary was kicked out of this, was booted out this episode. And if you've been listening, dear listener, to our last few episodes, you will know that I think Mary is awesome.
I did start following her on IG. She does look cool.
She's
She,
just so much fun.
yeah, she does look like she has a lot of fun. Well, yeah, someone else who did not like Mary getting booted out was David, and
You see how
some
I stood? You see how I stood up earlier? Right? That was like,
that was your David impression. Yeah.
yes,
Uh,
so
yeah.
funny.
Wait, I mean, we talked about it a bit on chat. I definitely cannot believe that that was such a sincere thing. He's just such a ham. I mean, the way that he comes into tribal with that scowl on his face, and then the way that he sort of smolders, tries or at least tries to smolder, tries to shoot fires out of his eyes at the
Yeah,
entire at the rest of the tribe. He's just such a ham,
yeah,
and him standing up. That just proved how here in the Philippines we call it here plastic he is, right?
I read it as like him trying to prove a point or something, trying to do something dramatic, but like it didn't end up having the effect that he wanted it to have. You, you know,
Yeah,
that
yeah,
sort of thing.
yeah.
Like, like I have this friend, right, who's quite how do we put this? Let's say that this person is rather ditzy, right? And this person went, this is many years ago at this point, went on a trip to the US
Hmm.
and and had a bunch of pictures, obviously, in 2020 when all hell was breaking loose in parts of the US and the whole Black Lives Matter thing became a thing. This dude changed his profile picture to hashtag Black Lives Matter and posted a selfie of him with a black person. Like a show of support, but tremendously misguided. Like just a picture of a selfie with like a random black person, like Black Lives Matter. Like, dude, no, no. So I'm sure he had like these great intentions
Yeah,
to show solidarity and all of that sort of thing, but no. And I think that's kind of what happened with David today. Like great intention behind it, but like, dude, just no, no. It's kind of cringe, you know?
not just kind of cringe, man. It was super cringe. Oh, Star had to, she was trying so hard to keep from laughing.
Yeah, yeah. But like the more I thought about it, right? 'Cause when I watched the episode again, like the more I thought about it, this is funny.
Yeah,
It's one of those unintentionally funny things.
yeah,
I suppose we could give production one flower for that,
for including it in the
for
cut, but
including it. They could have just like completely ignored it, but
yeah,
hey, it was funny.
yeah. It's a good thing. I mean, it's a good thing that Mary smiled back at the rest of the tribe so that they could release their smiles. You know, otherwise David might think that they're laughing at him,
Yeah.
which they probably were, right?
During her exit press, Mary didn't like even notice that he stood up. Like she mentioned something like that, like she wasn't aware that he had stood up or whatever.
And it didn't help that he still had that smoldering look, like he was so trying to portray such gravitas, right,
Yeah.
with his face, but it didn't land, man. It didn't land. I mean, David, uh, yeah, you are probably such a good stunt man, but you need a little bit more, some more lessons probably, if you want to cross to the actual acting thing, right? Yeah.
Uh, it's like one of those sort of students um that feels like they are really smart and stuff, but then like they like write using the Microsoft Word thesaurus.
Mm, mm.
One of those sorts of students that doesn't want to say like ship and ends up like using the word flotilla instead. God, God knows I've had some of those kids.
Yeah. Well, yeah. That's David for you. Uh, yeah.
Well-meaning goofball. I
Hmm.
think I think the way that uh, the whole standing up thing was handled, um, like showing Star trying to contain her laughter and all of that, brought David back from being sort of the David of the last two episodes for me.
Okay.
Like when when um when he was voted out, right? I said like it feels like he wants to stab somebody, like
Hmm.
or somebody's neck is going to be broken, right? And like his exit press was, rather fiery, shall we say?
Hmm.
And then he looked like he was ready to get violent in the previous episode. And like today, he pulls that stunt, and it's unintentionally funny. Like it softened him a little bit for me.
It's softened him. Again,
Yeah.
unintentionally softened him. Softened him.
Yeah, well, I'm sure that production might have. Well, I don't know. Production was probably intentional in doing that. Like they had to show it for whatever reason, and I'm pretty sure somebody in that production, if it didn't have the effect that they wanted it to have, that is to say, an intimidating threat and all of that, they would have like pulled it. They would have, scrapped that moment for like
Mm.
for what ended up becoming the hidden scene or the secret scene. Um, so yeah, Uh, in my head canon, they're doing that to make him seem more like the lovable goofball that likes that likes rom-coms, like bringing him back to his sort of pre-merge, like sitcom cartoon where it's all
Mm.
reset back to the beginning.
Mm.
That was a reset button.
We'll see. We'll find
That's my
out at the that's we'll find out at the reunion show, right? Quote unquote. The
yeah
post final tribal. How
yeah
he answers Jeff's. I'm sure that Jeff is gonna allude to it.
for
I
sure.
hope
He's
that
gonna
he is
bring
gonna.
up.
I hope that he's gonna. So yeah, you said that. Any other things that caught your eye in this episode?
Yeah, man. Going back to something you said about last year's one of last year's or last season's challenges, man. I can't
Mm.
believe they missed the upside down eye. And in
Mm.
this particular season, is the things that were,
The eye,
yeah,
the black eye and the white eye, right?
yeah, that one. Like, they talk about like, oh, it's all about attention to detail and all of that. They missed that other detail. That's all that went through my mind. Like,
But
the upside down eye.
I would like to think, because we know that Jeff is listening. We know that he's listening. Uh, we know that Jeff Probst, Uncle JP, is listening. Uh, I would like to think that because we brought it up last season, they started to notice, even when that same challenge was played this season, right? There were several times when the eye was also inverted, while they were spelling immunity. But then again, it seems as if all of that was corrected,
Yeah,
and no one had, when they were already going up to the last few blocks. Everything, I mean, the eyes were already on the right side up. And then this time, and then
yeah,
that attention to detail you mentioned, that got Camilla the win, right?
yeah. So thank you, Jeff Probst. I know that you're listening. Thank you.
Thank you for listening and taking notes from whatever it is that we say, right? So yeah, it is attention to detail. We don't want to shortchange the castaways when they're doing their challenges, especially if it's something as crucial as this, right? But the thing is, though, yes, it was a crucial win for Camilla, but it ended up not amounting to anything because Joe still stayed, Evo still stayed.
Yeah.
uh,
Well.
yeah.
Yeah, there might be something to the whole like the whole like You know, if you keep people that are quite that are very tightly allied to final tribal, that's one less vote that they have on the jury.
Mm. So if it's just gonna be you, because Camilla said that she just wants, because she did say she told Kyle, I want one of us in the final tribal. One of us has to be in final tribal, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah,
that could be what that could be that, right?
yeah, yeah. Because they're yeah, they could like if we imagine like Camilla, Eva, and Joe in final tribal, like you might split the votes between Joe and Eva,
Mm-hmm.
which is a great way for somebody unexpected to win, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Who are we to know? Like, you know,
Yeah,
we just watch the show all the way from closer to Fiji, but yeah, uh, like all
yeah.
the way in the other side of yeah. So yeah, and that
We have
was
cool shirts though.
yeah. We have cool shirts. That's what's nice about our show, and we have that bingo thing going on for us. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah. Anyway, so yeah, it it was a little frustrating for me that it didn't end up amounting to anything.
Mm,
Camilla's win, and then she had this whole thing about choosing Eva because she wanted Eva to be comfortable, right?
mm,
But she wasn't able to pull off the win. I mean the vote out of either Joe or Eva in the end. So
yeah.
it was a little disappointing, frustrating to me. Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh, one other thing though that I like about this episode was that we got another song for the New Era album, right?
Oh yeah, we
Shahid's
did.
song, and that was actually a pretty good song.
Yeah.
I like this song. Win just another challenge. Win just one challenge. Actually rhymed in the end. That was a pretty good song. And they should. I mean, Survivor definitely should come up with an album. They should bring in everyone who contributed. Shan with her hum. Who was that?
Uh,
The
Tevin and Soda.
Tevin and yeah, Soda with their song as well. And then we've got
Yeah.
Shaheen with this song, and also
Yeah.
the chicken and waffles song. Oh my god!
Chicken waffles dog.
And then of course you have to cap it off with, although it's not from the new era, you have to go with the OG, right? The Ponderosa song, right?
Didn't they record?
Did they? I mean,
Didn't
I remember seeing like a music video sort of thing going on.
actually which Ponderosa song? Because there was like
Um,
the rap, and then there
yeah,
was like
the rap's the one that I remember.
mm, the one that
The one that
Wendell was. The one
yeah,
that Dom
the
was.
one of what?
Wendell.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 They
Yeah.
should. I mean,
Yeah.
it should come up. Like
Yeah.
it should come up on Spotify, right?
Yes.
That's them, diversifying the the revenue streams.
Yeah. And who knows? It might become a viral hit.
Who knows, right? Chicken and waffles.
Chicken
That's
waffles.
catchy. What American fast food chain serves chicken and waffles mainly?
I
Right?
don't know.
Yeah.
That seems like the sort of thing that you'd find on like a TikTok or like an Instagram
Oh
reel.
yeah,
Come on.
yeah, yeah. Right. Yeah. So yeah, yeah.
Jeff, I know you're listening.
We know you are listening. Capitalize on the fact that you have someone several people, not just seven, who have been contributing music to your library of songs. Yeah.
Oh, and the other thought that I have for this episode.
Mm.
Sushi? Really? Really?
Yeah. And what's worse, chocolate cake after sushi? Really?
Like
Cold soba noodles, sushi, and then chocolate cake.
like what? What are you doing, Survivor? What are you doing, man?
The- there's a thought from No Buff saying that they actually listen to Camp Life, and because there's not a lot of topics that you can talk about in Camp Life, so you talk about food. The
Mm.
during one of these conversations, someone probably said that they miss sushi, they miss noodles,
Milk.
milk, right? They miss chocolate cake, right? I mean, and that's what informs production. Okay, this is what we're gonna give them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, Jeff Probst did like address that sort of in one of the episodes of the On Fire podcast, and it's like when it comes to stuff like that, if they have it on hand, they'll make sure that it happens. So they just so happen to have milk um, during the time that David talked a lot about, or Joe and David talked about milk or whatever, and so like they gave milk as as part of the reward because they had a lot of milk on hand.
Mm-hmm.
So that's if Jeff Probst is to be believed, that is kind of what they do, depending on what's available.
Mm-hmm. But then again, I mean, sushi that's readily available. That probably is readily available. You can just get
Yeah.
a fresh catch. But soba noodles, I don't know how where they got that.
Yeah. So, mm. I actually really like cold soba noodles.
You know what? I've never tried it. I've never tried it.
Yeah, it's really
It.
good. Like there's like this dipping sauce
Mm-hmm.
with then you drop a quail egg in there, some spring onion, and dip your noodles in it. So it's really good during the summer.
Oh, okay. So, well, it is the summer, although it's raining now here in where I am. So, but yeah. So I'll probably try that one of these days. I have like
Yeah,
a regular ramen thing every Sunday, but I'll try that out one of these days. Cold
yeah.
soba noodles.
I'm about to give a really hot take
Go ahead.
um of like the Japanese noodles. I think ramen is the most overrated.
Ooh, why so?
Yeah, I don't know. Like it's don't get me wrong, it's really good, right? Like Japanese food is like S tier, but it's like the lowest of the S tier.
Hmm.
I prefer I prefer what do you call it like tempura udon that sort of thing.
Mm.
I prefer like zarusoba, the sort of cold buckwheat noodles, right? Like ramen. I don't know, maybe it's just too quote unquote mainstream for me. But
Mm.
yeah, of all the Japanese noodle dishes, like um your standard bowl of ramen was my least favorite.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but I can see that. I used to have before. I used to have udon, katsudon, every week. Now it's
Mm.
ramen. Yeah, but I think that it's because it's. I think it's overrated here in the Philippines where we are, right? Because I mean, especially in Japan, it's supposed to be the working man's meal. It's supposed to be a quick meal that you can eat and go. Like it's not something to be
Yeah,
savored. It's not like anything like that. Right? Yeah, it's
yeah.
just so celebrated here.
But then even like your sort of quick grab and go kind of meals, some of those are still freaking amazing.
Yeah.
And I think that there are some of them that are rather underrated. Um, like off of the top of my head, um, those what do you call them? Those omelets, the tamago,
Mm.
whatever they're called. Like I think those are pretty underrated. Like everybody goes for an okonomiyaki or something, but
Mm-hmm.
like simple egg thing is really good, or like a deep fried chicken. But I don't know. I don't know.
Mm. Yeah.
Mm,
Yeah. I think it's a it. Yeah, your take is a hot take, especially here in the Philippines.
yeah.
Um. Yeah, because we revere the we celebrate the ramen so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There were other places as well, right? Like when you talk when you look at what's the name of that YouTube guy? Alex, the French guy, right? He has an entire series on ramen. So,
Mm,
it's rather um it's rather popular. I think it's most, probably the most popular like
mm,
Japanese noodle dish out there, but I still prefer like a bowl of udon, the sort of fat noodles like that. I
yeah.
prefer that in that sort of soy sauce type of broth with
Mm.
um a bit of with a tempura, like I don't know. Why am I talking about this?
Because that was the
Yeah.
reward.
I'm gonna get hungry again.
But wait, does any of that mix with chocolate cake? And by the looks of what they were eating, very dense chocolate cake. It wasn't even moist or fudgy. It was so dense. It looked so dense. It looked like a brown brick.
You come to think about it, like in theory, yes, because sushi is light.
So you need something
It's
dense to balance it out.
yeah. Like if you give a bowl of ramen and like really thick chocolate cake, like that would be, what are you doing? I hope your med team is ready. You know,
So yeah,
but
that's why
I
it
don't
was
know.
sushi. It was sushi. And yeah, okay.
Yeah.
All right. All right.
It's like ramen is insanely rich. That might be another thing that
Mm,
kind of, like uh your pork bone broth can get pretty
mhm.
rich sometimes.
Oh, dude, the one that I get almost weekly. It's like it has like a whole slab of pork on it. Yeah. But anyway, yeah, I'm gonna get hungry as well if we keep on talking like this. Uh, yeah. Mm.
Like, come on, man! I just had lunch. Wait, no, I can't make the ambiguous time joke because you can very clearly see out the back.
Isn't that just like the cinema or something? I don't know. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, you don't see out the door. All right. Good morning.
Yeah. Well, anyway, any other things that stood out for you?
Uh, Not really.
Not
Like I
really.
said,
This was, like you
not
said, we.
necessarily. I'm not a top
Mm,
episode. I'm not going to go so far as to say that this is like the worst episode of Survivor, or the new era, or whatever. Um, I do agree with pretty much everything that Sam Phelan was talking about on that podcast, Survivor Specialists or the Specialist, where he said like, people keep on talking about wanting an old school season. We're kind of getting an old school season.
mm-hmm.
So we got to be careful for what, we as people on the internet kind of be careful of what we wish for.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you know, don't say that you want an old school season when really all you want is a season without advantages. You say want a season without advantages,
That's
because
true.
if you clamor for an old school season, hook, line, and sinker, you run the risk of getting a season like this where it's just like, hey, we're gonna pagong until the end.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So,
Well, hopefully the pagonging ends. Someone makes a move. I mean, I know that Joe is my winner pick, but for the sake of the show, for the sake of the season, someone needs to make a move.
yeah, yeah,
All right.
yeah.
So I guess we can
Although,
go.
although if Joe does end up winning, I am going to have to buy you a beer. So,
Okay, Joe, you need to win. Uh, all right. We go to our next segment. Whose line is it actually for this past episode? Coconut etiquette. It was Camilla.
yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah.
had it being Shaheen, right?
Hmm.
And did you get it? Did you get Camilla?
I can't remember anymore. I don't remember.
Yeah, all because
Um,
Mary was like eating all the green coconuts on the island, the entire island.
yeah. Great callback to banana etiquette. What's it? Or
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
papaya etiquette or whatever the
Papaya etiquette. Yeah, the one with Say and Chrissy.
yeah. So like yeah, good cool callback to, like previous Survivor sort of lore.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
But aren't they in the on the island that Chrissy said has a lot of cassava also? So did they also run out of cassava?
Isn't cassava like poisonous?
Is it?
Like you have to know how to cook it,
Ooh, I did not know that.
or like having too much raw cassava isn't necessarily good for your health.
Oh, okay. 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 So they
I think it's
probably
cassava.
someone probably had too much and then they're like, "Okay, no more. No more." Our production probably told them, "You know what? Don't eat too much of it. Just buy the Filipino delicacies, right? And that's a better way of enjoying cassava." Yeah. So,
Man.
yeah. Next episode, it is entitled Icarus Time. Right? So it recalls the legend of Icarus, who flew
Hmm.
too close to the sun, so close that the wax in his wings melt, and he falls to his demise. Who is gonna say this?
Shaheen seems like the type of person that would say that.
Ooh. And who is he referring to? Or what is he referring
Uh, that is a good question. I probably he's talking about Kyle. Talking about Kyle.
to? Ooh. Kyle sticking too close to the sun? Is he talking about Kyle sticking too close to Joe and Eva?
To Joe and Eva, yeah. Like
Hmm.
like he's saying that's quite dangerous because Joe and Eva are the pair, and he's flying too close to the sun. It's Icarus time. Yeah.
Ooh. All right. So this is interesting because I actually have it. I have Kyle saying, and he's talking
Talking
about
about Shaheen.
Shaheen. Yeah, yeah. He's like, okay, it's Icarus time. You've been sticking too close to Joe and Eva, and I need to sacrifice you so Camilla can stay in the game.
Mm. All right. Interesting. Interesting. Watch as it's freaking Eva that says it, right?
Right? She's the PhD candidate right now, so
Yeah.
that's not out of the question.
Anyway.
Yeah. So next we have what it could have been. So aside from coconut etiquette, coconuts were highlighted very much in this game, in this episode.
Yeah.
What else could the title have been?
Make yourselves proud.
Ooh. Who said that?
Mary's last words.
Mm, that's nice.
Make
That's nice.
yourselves proud.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm. Going
For
for
me,
something earnest this week.
mhm, yeah. No, not a jokey one. For me,
Yeah.
well, for me, it's a little ironic, don't you think? Uh, just a little bit. It
It
comes from
rained on
this.
my wedding day, by the way.
Oh, that's nice. But that in Filipino culture, that is a blessing.
Yeah, it
Uh,
is.
yeah. So for me, I go back to Shohin's song, and the title that I have is "Win Just One Challenge," and
Mm.
Camilla did win just one challenge, but she didn't take advantage of it. That's why it's ironic. Yeah.
Like
So
rain
yeah. Hmm.
with a
Um,
Korean pop star.
so yeah. So there you go. So that's what it could have been. Survivors. Let's
Yeah.
go to survivors of the week. Who is your castaway of the week?
My castaway of the week is Camilla.
Mm,
obviously.
Mm-hmm.
She won an immunity challenge.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And she actually already knew the word even before
Yeah,
she got to
yeah, yeah,
the tiles. She was
yeah,
already assembling it. Just so happens that her arc fell, right? And
yeah,
then Kyle just went and blabbed what the word was, so that everyone is just racing to spell it, right? Yeah,
yeah. Mm.
yeah, good pick, good pick. For me, it's Shaheen because
Uh-huh.
I go back to the fact that he got another song in. He is
Yeah,
becoming the lead singer of New Era,
the new era.
and yeah, and for all intents and purposes, he schooled Joe, right? At the very least, in his confessional, he schooled Joe because Joe was like
Mm.
getting paranoid, getting unsettled, as he said.
Yeah,
And then Kyle is like, I sorry, Shaheen is like, "Welcome to Survivor, man. That's what
yeah,
happens, right? You get your name written, or you get a threat of your name getting written, but you keep going on, right? You don't get unsettled." So yeah, so Shaheen
yeah,
is my castaway of the week.
yeah.
For goat of the week, who do you have?
Um, I'm gonna say Joe for that exact reason.
Mhm.
Like, he got he started playing Survivor, and it looked like it kind of shook him a little bit. You know,
Mhm.
like,
Mhm.
bro, yeah. So
Yeah.
it's either him or um either him or what the f am I blanking on his name?
Mhm.
He used
Kyle?
my actual winner pick. Uh,
Mitch.
Mitch, yeah, Joe or Mitch,
Mm.
because
Yeah.
Mitch is like not playing the game that he it's sort of the culmination of a couple of bad episodes
Mm.
that puts him on the brink of being booted out.
Yeah. Not unless he wins immunity next episode.
Yep.
Yeah, you never know. That Mitch immunity run, we're still waiting for it. uh, for me, my pick is Kyle. So yeah,
Yeah, I
it's
can
the
see
two
that.
guys in the middle, right? So
I
Shaheen
can see
is
that.
castaway of the week. Kyle, the wishy-washy game. And yeah, while you do say that he might still have an out for next episode, for me this was the prime opportunity to take Joe out, get Eva. I mean, if they get to blindside Joe, it's gonna be hard for Eva to get her bearings back,
Yeah,
right? So that immediately also puts Eva on the side, and then Kyle and Camilla. This was the prime chance for them to announce that they are working together, right? And Kyle balked at the opportunity. For me, it was more Kyle than Camilla because I think
yeah,
Camilla was ready to
I can see
go.
that. I
Camilla
can
was
see
ready to
that.
go, and Kyle was like, "No, I can't."
Although,
Yeah.
you know what, I think that like at this point in the game, the best move would be if for Camilla or Kyle, because one of them is going to make it to final tribal. That was telegraphed by the inclusion of the line. At least one of us has to make it to final tribal. That would be like a really cool bombshell to drop at final tribal. Oh yeah,
Mm.
by the way, we had a secret alliance that none of you knew about. Um, in contrast to or juxtaposed against the alliance between Joe and Eva.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah,
But that would only work though if their alliance produced anything. So if
yeah.
yeah, the
If the
vote out
alliance
of
was the one
Joe
that
here,
took out Joe, that's gonna
yeah,
be yeah.
yeah. So yeah,
If they
it might not be
orchestrated, yeah,
the prime time for them to announce, but if they take out Joe without revealing their alliance, and then they reveal it, whoever between the two of them gets to final tribal says, you know what, it was our alliance that took out Joe,
yeah.
the
Like that
strongest
would be
player in the game, biggest threat. Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, yeah. Whoever takes out Joe wins the season. I'm still having that as my like you know bold prediction.
Bold prediction. Yeah. If someone does get to take him out.
Yep.
Yeah. And lastly, purples of the week. Purple of the week.
Um, my purple of the week is uh like fire, like
Fire?
like gas or just anything to cook fish.
All right. All right. Yeah. It shouldn't have been raw fish. I mean, they've been. Well, yes, they do. They are cooking their fish, but why serve sushi? That was such a
Yeah,
weird thing to have
that
so
was
far.
quite weird. You know, like think of their stomachs, Survivor. Yeah,
Yeah.
like unless that's what y'all wanted, you know,
Yeah.
maybe they wanted more frequent bathroom breaks that way, like more we can get more backstabby like moments.
Hmm. Who knows?
Who
Who
knows?
knows? Yeah. For me, I don't know if it's this is the actual schedule for it, but I am missing letters from home. Uh,
Mm,
and Final Seven. I don't know if this is the actual schedule for when they are supposed to get letters from home, but I don't know. I yeah.
yeah,
The thing that would do yeah that would be good for this would be if they get a family member. Finally, bring back family members, right,
yeah.
to help them in the next challenge.
Well, if I was if I were Survivor production, I'd save that for Survivor 50.
Oh. Hmm.
Yeah,
But then again, Survivor 50 is a returning
yeah,
players.
yeah. Make Survivor 50 like special. I don't know. To make it specialer.
Specialer. But yeah, I mean
I
these are
apologize,
sort of like
Survivor 49.
fillers.
Yeah,
Survivor 49 will be the filler between now and 50.
yeah.
And then watch
I
how
forgot who.
49 becomes like the biggest season of the new era.
Yeah, I remember somebody. I can't remember which of the podcasters was saying it, but like, it sounds like something Stephen Fishbach might have said. Um, there is kind of fear, I guess, that players on Survivor 49 um, might assume that there is, you know, a spot or two in Survivor 50 for somebody from 49. Sort of like Russell Hanson, you know, Heroes versus Villains,
Mm.
right? Like he was from the season directly before it. And that space there was probably reserved for somebody from the previous season. So, like people in 49 might be thinking that there was a space on season 50 dedicated to maybe one or two people from 49. And the fear is a lot of the players on 49 are not going to be playing for the million, but will be playing for the spot on 50.
So they'll be hamming it up like David is for for the season.
David for Survivor 50 is what we're saying.
David for Survivor 50, hamming it up. Right? Yeah. So yeah. So is that an official prediction, or are we going to wait for that for for uh, Survivor 50? David makes it to the cast. We have to come up
Not,
with
not
that
a,
prediction.
I don't know if that is a prediction, but it is something that I'm throwing into the universe and hoping that it sticks because it'd be funny to see him. You know, try to like I'm just imagining, right?
Mm.
You have Q and you have David. It's one of those like, you know, immovable object and unstoppable force kind of situations.
And then
Like
imagine
Survivor, you know,
if the three castaways, if they do get three castaways from 48, it'll be David, Mary, and Say. That'll be such a fun trio to have on
yeah.
50.
Although I
Yeah.
think Say would be really good for a new season, for a new era All Stars season
Yeah.
more than Survivor 50.
Oh, why isn't 50 supposedly an all-star season?
Oh man, 50 is like anybody from any time.
Oh, okay.
Like we might have somebody from Borneo on there.
Mm, okay, okay. So new
Like,
era All
yeah,
Stars. It's a different thing. Okay.
yeah. Like if they ever end up doing a new era All Stars, I can totally see like Say being one of those people.
Mm-hmm.
I can see Carla or
Mm,
you know James from
mm-hmm.
that season. Um, Whereas Survivor 50 from that season would be saved for somebody like Jesse.
Mm.
Like yeah,
The
got to be
iconic
that
ones.
iconic, yeah. Because they're going up against like Siri or
Mm-hmm.
you know
Siri
somebody
again.
like that. I honestly
Okay.
I don't want to see her on Survivor anymore, but okay,
Yeah.
fine.
If the clamor is
I don't,
there, she's already won Traders. She should win
yeah,
Traders.
you know who I really want to see on Survivor 50?
Ooh.
Freaking Visepia.
Ooh. She wasn't at Winners at War. Yeah.
Hmm.
But what was it?
Anyway,
Did she even get the call for Winners at War?
I don't remember. I don't know what the. Yeah, I think there was some drama there, so that
Yeah,
might be
right?
there might be something there. I don't know.
Mhm. Yeah.
Somebody, if there's somebody that I want to see on 50, it would be Visepia.
That's interesting. That's interesting. Yeah. All right.
Hmm.
So, any final words?
I like this new shirt. If ever anybody
I
is
like
in
it too,
Bali,
man.
these shirts are really cool, man.
And I bet that it's really comfy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I might just wear this like every council of Titos from this point on.
Yeah. Alrighty. So yeah, that's it for tonight's episode. We would greatly appreciate it if you hit the like button so we don't get voted off the channel. And because if that happens, there's nothing. There's gonna be nothing on this channel anymore. At any rate, this has been Joel Parcon.
Here are some flowers.
We do hope to see you on the council again soon. Until then, stay safe, mga kalaro. The Titos have spoken.